Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Harry Brelsford from SMB Nation. This is the MSP Tech Talk winter quarter, where the theme this time is the PocketMBA system. And I'm going to talk about that more in a minute, but today's lecture is the FINDER Rules at 12. I am coming to you live from Dallas, Texas at the Channel Pro SMB Forum. And if you hear a little background noise, that's because it's rocking and rolling, and I'm out on the floor coming to you live. Let's get started. So again, if we don't know each other quite yet, we're just strangers that aren't quite yet friends. Harry Brelsford, founder and CEO of SMB Nation, and I participate in a variety of startups that I'll make mention over the course of the PocketMBA program winter quarter. What I'd like you to do is use the chat feature over in the dashboard to your right, and tell me what city you're in. I want to give a shout out to a city, I believe it was Huey Lewis in the News, that had that song with all those cities where he babbled it off. Use the chat feature, but let me tell you what the PocketMBA system is. This is a condensed format, so we're going to be together for about 20 minutes today, and I am in the process of developing the PocketMBA system for release later in the year. That we will charge for. You are the beneficiary of getting the curriculum, parts of the curriculum for free, some additional bonus material, and so on. So I appreciate you participating in this, and I hope I can only add value as we go along. Other housekeeping, be sure to use the questions panel to ask your questions. And if by chance you're not sidelined with travel concerns, I will be at South by Southwest next week in Austin, Texas. Hit me offline, and I'd be happy to get together with you. Last year, they had 400,000 people. I am hearing the attendance will be a little bit more suppressed this year for some of the global health concern reasons. Let's get started. So we introduced today in the FINDER module. So FINDER is how to get the business. It's the classic professional service delivery model, Finder, Minder, Grinder. This week was FINDER, and I am introducing the rules of 12, Brelsford's Rules of 12 system. And it's a systematic approach to sales and marketing. The key thing is it's consistent. And I have a handout based on some things I'm going to talk about over in the handout section over to your right in your control panel. Please download the Rules of 12 spreadsheet. I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. FINDER, business development versus ring the bell at 5 p.m. So those of you that have worked with me over the years at SMB Nation, those of you that know me, know that I believe in biz dev. And this is a fun little chart that I found. And the key point here is trust. It all starts with trust. I'm going to talk more about a sales approach, this business development. This is not a condo timeshare presentation where we lock the doors at the back of the room. This is not an automobile sales organization where you're working the lot and literally ringing the bell by 5 p.m. So biz dev, how to sell anything, and I promote an educational and sales approach. Let's keep going. FINDER, Rules of 12, one of them is LinkedIn lookalike. So what I'm drawing on here is a concept in analytics, predictive analytics, known as nearest next door neighbor concept. And the idea is you go to your best clients and you look at their LinkedIn profile and then look to the right and see who their contacts are as much as they are exposed. Most people don't expose their full contact list, but look to the right for lookalikes. And so this might make sense with my friend Joe Axney out of Denver, Colorado, who has niched on the veterinarian community. And he's going to be able to go to one of his best clients in the veterinarian field, small animal veterinarian, not horses and cows, and look to the right and see the name of other veterinarians. And if you are LinkedIn Premium, you do have the right to email those people. So look closely at mine. We have Paul Dipple, a well-known rock star in the MSP community on the quantitative side. Paul's a friend of mine. He spoke at some SMB Nation events. We are birds of a feather or nearest next door neighbor. Same with Dave Seibert. The Cadence, once a week, go do this. Once a week, biz dev. Number 2, in the FINDER model, educational sales via competitive research and read. I try to read 1 to 2 hours a day in particular. And one of the startups you're going to hear a little bit more of coming from SMB Nation in 2020 is 420 MSP, a very serious startup where we are helping MSPs take advantage of the cannabis technology supply chain from seed to sale. It's going to be a decade-long run. And what I'm showing you is an article that featured myself and another individual, Luis Alvarez, MSP out of Central California. This is up at Channel Pro. I'm at the Channel Pro show in Dallas, Texas. So you can go to the Channel Pro site and search on the word Harry or Brelsford or what have you, and catch this article, read. Gentlemen and ladies, read. And do this once a week. And you'll see the context of the rules at 12 on the spreadsheet in particular is I basically set this up as quarterly. My contention is by the time you factor in holidays and time away from the office, there's 12 weeks in a fiscal quarter. That's my basic contention. Once a week, make sure you're doing a little competitive research and reading articles in your industry. Next up, folks, in the Finder model, rules of 12 on a quarterly basis, collect 12 cards and give away 12 business cards. Again, I'm doing a slow-mo in terms of business development, and I just once a week, I want you to give away a card and collect a card. Here's the good news. At the end of the year, you'll literally have almost 50 cards. Next year, you'll have 100. The following year, 150, and it just cascades from there. That's how I grew SMB Nation. We call it organic growth. Didn't take the money. Taking the money is evil. Grew organically. Now, I would also offer we grew strategically, but this is how you do it over time. And the best practice that I can recommend, the rock stars that I see out there in the MSP community are printing on both sides of the card. And on the second side, you can put your credentials. You can put maybe some bullet points on the nature of the work that you're involved in. Collect one business card a week and a quarter, give away one business card each week. Events and meetups. So in the book you will receive, and let me see if I can go to that book. Those of you that attend all 6 lectures are going to receive a free copy of SMB Consulting Best Practices. It's the best book I ever wrote. So those of you that hang in there are going to receive this book. And in the early chapters, I have a conversation about using a variety of event type tactics, outreaches, the business, everything helps everything. And the goal is once a quarter to have a cup of coffee with a prospect. But I don't let you off that easy, okay? I'm just being realistic. I need you to participate in a meetup or an event once a week. So the cadence is quarterly, once a week. This is a tall order. So maybe you're going to BNI, Vistage, the Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, once a week. I want you to get out there. If you go to meetup.com, you'll be surprised that there is every single type of meetup you can possibly imagine where you can catch up with the customers you want to target. And over on the lower right, what I have is Josh Weiss, one of our 420 MSP rock stars out of Southern California, who's built a thriving business as a service provider to the cannabis vertical, goes to this investor meetup. Sounds like a pretty good idea. Monthly meeting, Southern California investor meetup. It's absurd the number of people they have on the list. And he says at the monthly meetup, they have a few hundred attendees and he has a table there. So be the rock star. This is a challenge. I understand this takes a lot of effort to do one event per week, but it does pay off. Moving on. Rules of 12 calls per week. I want 12 calls per week over a 12-week fiscal quarter. And the reason I feel calling is still germane is I assisted a Microsoft call center as a management consultant a couple of years ago. It was an honor and a pleasure. It was sort of a side hustle to SMB Nation. Spent 6 months taking them to the next level in terms of making their call center relevant. This is the organization that is the de facto Microsoft partner program calls you receive and the vendor behind that. And we tweaked it a little bit and then we went to market and got clients beyond Microsoft, like Dell and some other vendors in our space that you would know. And what we found, the analytics showed us, even though people don't answer the phone, there's a lot of spam calls, the analytics showed us conclusively that telecommunication, or tele, delivers a 45% increase in opportunities. I have two final thoughts on that. First, your absence is more conspicuous than your presence, and leads to my second point. We know what happens if you don't pick up the phone and call, and we know what happens if you pick up the phone and call. And then next is be in the top 12% of your industry. So be a rainmaker, right? Remember, we're talking business development from an educational sales point of view, not the car dealer out on the lot. So this is a modification of something long known in the headhunter recruiting industry, where they always say, I have a candidate who's not looking, and the gentlemen or the ladies in the top 10% of their peer group. What I need you to do is use a variety of LinkedIn tactics. So that would be engagement, posting, connecting with new people. You can find all this by searching LinkedIn SSI, and I want you to elevate yourself over time to those metrics in the upper right that would clearly allow you to proudly say you are in the top 12% of your industry. It's called rainmaking. Good things happen. It's also called karma. If you're joining us late, folks, you are in the PocketMBA system for the winter quarter of the MSP Tech Talk. And hopefully I'm helping you with good content and handouts, and you are certainly helping me, because we are developing the PocketMBA system for broad release later in 2020, and we will charge for that. You are the beneficiary of a beta test that is complimentary. I hope you enjoy it. With that, thank you. I want to show you a couple of things. Remember, we have a little bit shorter format. We're in the 20-minute format, so let me show you a couple of things. First of all, if you joined us late, you will receive the SMB Consulting Best Practices book at the end of the 6 lectures. That's for you. About 650 pages, and it encapsulates a lot of the things we're talking about, including the rules of 12. Now, what I would like you to do is go over to the handout, please. Go over to the handout over in the right in your control panel and download this bonus handout for today. I want you to use it. Yesterday, we had the business plan bonus handout. It's still there. Today, we have the FINDER Rules of 12 handout. And as you can see, this is a system much like, I wouldn't call it gamification, but I would call it more like some of the diet programs where you get 100 points a day. You can have carbohydrates, you can have protein, fruits, and vegetables. We have designed the same type of system to motivate you. So LinkedIn lookalikes, check, week 1. LinkedIn lookalikes, check, week 2. Business cards, give a card, check, week 1. Check, week 2. You get the point. Please download that. And with that said, that is what I had in mind today for this nugget, a little shorter format with the PocketMBA system. We keep the topics bite-sized and we back it up with handouts. In 2 weeks, we return for the Minder lectures. So there's 2 Minder lectures about standard operating procedures and best practices to actually run your business and manage your client accounts. Then we're off to the grinder section the week after that, a little bit later in March. Folks, thank you very much for joining us. This is Harry Brelsford with the PocketMBA program, the PocketMBA system. Thank you, and we will see you back for the Minder section. Have a great day.